What's going on, vinyl community? Welcome to another video with the Record Spinner. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a vinyl haul showcasing most of the records that I acquired within the month of July this year in 2024. I say most because I will not be showcasing the records that I picked up with the youngest members of the VC when they came out to my home state of New Jersey. You're going to have to wait till sometime in mid to late August to see what I picked up then when you see the results of the documentation of our travels. So be sure to follow me on all social media platforms as well as everyone's respective accounts so you can be in the loop of when that is going to go up. But you would think that for as much as I did pick up while I was on vacation, that I would kind of steer clear from buying outside of that. But with this video, that is not the case because there is a lot of stuff I'm going to be going through in this vinyl haul. We have some Frehley's Comet, a Vinyl Me Please pressing from Heart, a new reissue by the Donnas, Mobile Fidelity pressings of Van Halen, Jack White Vault releases, the new Ghost live album / soundtrack, a Yes release by Rhino's High Fidelity series, as well as a new anniversary pressing from Kiss. It's about to go deep, so without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the latest finds. Okay, so we are kicking this haul off with a little bit of variety, let's just say. Starting off with a Kiss-related record that has never been reissued before until now. And I am talking about the second album by Ace Frehley's Comet, and that is Second Sighting. Most people would go as far as to say that this is a Todd Howarth solo album. And honestly, this is a Frehley's Comet record that I don't really go to that much. I'm very well acquainted with the first Frehley's Comet album, and obviously all of Ace's individual solo works. So this will be a bit of an interesting first-time listen, and I've just kind of been waiting for when this would be reissued to get myself a copy. Now, Friday Music had put this reissue out, and they went ahead and included a bonus track in the form of the remix single version of the song It's Over Now, which appears on this album. Nice gatefold jacket. If there was a printed inner sleeve with the original, they reformatted it into a gatefold. And as for the vinyl, it looks really, really cool. So this is like a sort of vinyl melt type variant. Not two are going to look the same, essentially. So each pressing is very much unique. And on this, you see there's like a little bit of red and a lot of blue and white. Kind of fits that sort of cosmic galaxy aesthetic to the album artwork, and also just, you know, keeping it in line with all of the usual space themes that Space Ace tends to find himself in. So really happy that Friday Music had put this out, and I'm really stoked to give it a listen for the first time. And then, of course, recently, as you saw in my last haul, I signed up for Vinyl Me Please finally as a monthly member. However, the rock record for this month in July kind of wasn't tickling my fancy. So I went ahead and did the whole custom swap thing where you can basically choose what you want to get, which honestly is a really nifty function as long as you kind of keep up with it and you're not stuck with records that you don't really want. So I took a little cruise through what they had available, and this was one that was on my radar because, yes, this album has been reissued before, but I just have never come across it, and now all those old reissues are kind of getting pricey and hard to come by. So when I saw that Vinyl Me Please did an exclusive pressing of this album, I immediately jumped on it because I have been really needing this in my Heart collection, and that is Little Queen. And this album, of course, features Barracuda. Kick It Out is great. The title track is awesome. Love Alive, just a fantastic record. I absolutely love the Wilson sisters here. And, of course, Vinyl Me Please includes all of its typical trappings with this pressing. You have this nice little nifty OB-esque type strip. And here is that VMP rock red sort of foil emblem in the bottom corner. Nice sturdy gatefold jacket with all the lyrics. And as always, they include some listening notes, which kind of goes into some of the, you know, the inner specs and details of the album. Just a nice little thing that you can kind of flip through. And the vinyl itself looks absolutely tremendous. Replicates that portrait label, and it is on red and white split colored vinyl, which looks absolutely awesome, and I am really excited to listen to this record. It has been a very long time since I've last heard it, and to finally have this Vinyl Me Please vinyl pressing of it, I am really, really stoked. So very happy to get this. And keeping it in the all-female vein, this next record is one that has just been reissued once again by the label that had put it out a couple years back. I'll explain exactly what I'm talking about, but it is the Donnas Spend the Night. Now, this was the Donnas sort of major label breakthrough. They had signed with Atlantic Records at this point. They had parted ways with Lookout Records. This features their best-known track, Take It Off, as well as other great Donnas tunes such as Who Invited You, Too Bad About Your Girl. Honestly, I don't know if this would be in the run for like the best Donnas album, but I think it's the one that most people will kind of go to. Now, this was put out by Real Gone Music. Real Gone Music had done a 2LP deluxe version of this album several years ago that I do have in my collection, and that is great because you get the main album on 1LP, and then you get some live stuff and non-album B-sides on the other. This is just the standalone album. And there are some quite notable differences, except for the fact that it's just the main album. You do get this little insert here, which, to the best of my knowledge, from what I had seen on Discogs, this is the insert that came with the original UK pressing, I want to say, or US. I have to double check, but this was not included in the 2LP deluxe version. Now, this is the Zia Records exclusive. They have been doing exclusives of all the Donnas reissues that have come out by Real Gone Music. And I feel like because I have all of the other ones for like all the Lookout records, I gotta keep up with these exclusives. So this one is pressed on metallic gold vinyl, and it is limited to 300 copies, which looks absolutely stunning. It has a cool metallic ripple effect in this light, and then when you hold it up to like a light, it has like a cool kind of smoky kind of look to it. So nonetheless, happy to have copy number 2 of this fantastic Donnas album. And then for all the audiophiles out there, it's time to wet your whistle, because I got my hands on the newest Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab Ultra Disc one-step pressing of Van Halen 2. I feel like, especially for the early Van Halen records with David Lee Roth, you know, these one-steps, I really want to seek these out because I love David Lee Roth Van Halen so much. I have the debut, it sounds wonderful, and this is an album that grows on me more with time. You're No Good, Somebody Get Me a Doctor, and of course Dance the Night Away, Beautiful Girls, Bottoms Up, DOA. This album is just fucking ripping from start to finish. As you see, it comes in a nice sort of slim box. Mofi has kind of done away with those big bulky boxes with like the styrofoam bits and pieces in there. Kept it nice and slim, nice gold inlays, very classy looking. And just so you guys can see, holographic sticker, and it is numbered. This is copy number 4,240, a limited press out of 7,500. Inside, you get this little insert here, which has the original master recording band across the top. Opens up like that. And then each LP comes in its own jacket here with gold inlays, which is a very nice touch. And even inside, the sleeve is housed in its own little sort of J card. Is it a J card or an L card? Let's just say that. It's nice, sturdy, you know, cardstock. And then here is the vinyl. You can't really tell on camera in this angle, but it is their it's pressed on their super vinyl formulation, which comes across as a bit of a translucent hue, which kind of is reminiscent of how Mofi kind of had their super vinyl formulation back in like the 70s and 80s. So it's cool that, you know, they're kind of working that kind of technology back in with these one steps. And yes, just, you know, just to point it out, you know, for all the analog purists, yes, it's analog master to DSD to console, but look, if it sounds great to your ears, that is all that matters. And I'm not going to be pondering if this is an all analog press when I could let my hair down and rock out to what is perhaps the best sounding pressing of Van Halen 2. Okay, so in the mail recently from Third Man, I received not the Jack White no-name surprise mystery album that most other fans got. Instead, I got the latest vault package from Third Man, and that is a box set called Third Man Live. Now, located on the premise of Third Man's Nashville headquarters is a live venue called the Blue Room, where bands will set up shop there, perform shows, and they have a recording facility installed there to where they can record direct to vinyl, and in most cases, Third Man will release the shows on the label. Now, this vault package is one of the rare occurrences where they will bring together multiple artists under one umbrella and not have it be like a one artist centered sort of package. So in this set, you have live performances by Jack White, Witch, and Dinosaur Jr. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care for Witch or Dinosaur Jr. I'm in this for the Jack White LP, and I'll talk all about that and explain the significance behind the show. So this is Jack White live in the Blue Room on April 19th, 2014. Now that date on that year was Record Store Day, and this was also when Jack did the world's fastest record thing, to where he basically got a 7-inch record pressed within a matter of, I think it was under 3 hours. So basically, the show starts off with Highball Stepper just to kind of get things started. Then they cut side A, which was his then new single, Lazaretto. Also, it's scary to think that I remember when that was new 10 years ago. God, I'm getting old. But anyways, they cut Lazaretto, and then on the B side, they cut his rendition of Elvis's Power of My Love. That's the single, and while that was being transported to United Record Pressing, Jack did a full set of both White Stripes and solo tunes as the record was being made. And then he went from the live room to United, picked up the records, brought them back to sell them, and the rest is history. Now, I've always wanted that world's fastest record, but it is very hard to come by and pricey. But here we have the full show. So it's the best of all worlds, essentially. So here is the track list on the back. And each LP in this set does come pressed on sort of marbled blue vinyl, which looks very, very awesome. And there is also a bonus 7-inch by Mudhoney, which is interesting. There's also a little write-up talking about this particular package and the shows featured in it, and a little bumper sticker saying support live music, which is very, very awesome. So super stoked to have that. And then we get into another installment in Rhino's High Fidelity series. It's funny, I remember purchasing this while sitting on the couch at the Airbnb that I was staying at with the youngest members of the VC. So while I was doing damage with them, I was doing more damage on the home front. And this is a title that I'm actually quite surprised to see, but also am very excited for many reasons. And that is, yes, Relayer. This came out back in 1974. At this point, you have Patrick Moraz on keyboards. Rick Wakeman had left. And with that sort of new blood in the band, this is kind of their foray into like fusion and jazz rock. And kind of follows the Close to the Edge formula of having the big grand epic on side A with the Gates of Delirium, and then you have the shorter songs on side B, shorter as in 9 to 10 minutes long, being Sound Chaser, as well as To Be Over. This is definitely, I would say, in the middle of like Yes's like classic streak, or maybe it's the peak of their classic streak. And quite frankly, this is an album that has very seldomly been reissued on vinyl. There's a 2008 or 2009 Friday Music Press that is very hard to come by, and it was also remixed by Steven Wilson, and that mix was pressed on vinyl as part of the Steven Wilson Remixes box sets. And now we have this, which is absolutely phenomenal. Lovely Roger Dean artwork, replicates the original gatefold design there. And of course, like all Rhino Hi-Fi releases, there is a nice little exclusive insert, which has scans of the Advision tape boxes. We have some liner notes, as well as a band photo, and scans of the original custom center labels. And then this was included with the original packaging. Here's a little insert with all the lyrics to the songs. And then as for the vinyl itself, Of course, it comes on a Rhino Hi-Fi's own custom center label there. Nice polyline sleeve. Oh, that's a nice touch. Even has the logo right there. I don't think I've seen that before on my previous releases. That's very cool. So I am super stoked to have this this much needed missing Yes piece in my collection. It's crazy that this has been missing, with the exception of the remix. My time has finally come. I am ready for this. And then shifting gears into sort of soundtrack territory, as well as, I should say, a live album as well by one of my favorite modern bands, and that is Ghost, right here, right now. So before I talk about the soundtrack, yes, I did see this concert film in theaters with my dad as well as my girlfriend. Very much just a classic sort of concert film, very much in the vein of like The Song Remains the Same, with, you know, little bits and pieces of acting and dialogue. It is a fantastic watch. You get to appreciate and experience the grand scale of a Ghost show, along with the usual comedic little bits in between songs and things like that. If you're very much caught up in the band lore, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And this right here is the soundtrack. Now, the concert film was the full show, but here on 2 LPs, we have a more condensed version, which I think is nice. It doesn't replicate or like overlap too much from their first live record, which is called Ceremony and Devotion. But what I love about this is the back cover. For all you Kiss fans out there, look at this. They pay homage to Kiss Alive with how like the track list is laid out with sides 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they have a cool live shot on the bottom. I think that is just a wonderful touch, and also Tobias Forge has made mention of his love for Kiss growing up, so I thought that was awesome to see. I kind of want to make a video on the Kiss and Ghost connections just because I love the two so much. Now, this was a pre-order from Ghost's web store, and there are numerous vinyl pressings out there. There's a Target exclusive, there's the indie exclusive, but I'll show you what I got from the web store. First off, does come with a cool movie poster, which is very cool. Does come with a felt slip mat, which, quite frankly, I'm not going to use. It was free with the purchase, so it's nice to have. Does have a beautiful booklet with all kinds of great live shots and photos taken from the film, which was filmed and recorded at the LA Forum, which was awesome. And also, I should mention too that this live album / soundtrack does contain a new song called "The Future Is a Foreign Land," which in the lore it's like Papa Zero's like missing song. You really got to understand Ghost to know exactly what I'm talking about. And keeping it up with the spooky blue kind of hues on the album cover, this is pressed on blue vinyl, which looks absolutely stellar. So really excited to sort of relive the concert film by blasting the soundtrack once and for all. And speaking of Kiss, we have an anniversary release from Kiss Online, an album that's celebrating its 45th anniversary this year, is Dynasty. This is Kiss Goes Disco, or Kisco, as I should say. I Was Made for Loving You is on here, which I think it's fitting that this album's anniversary kind of landed to where I Was Made for Loving You hit like 1 billion streams on Spotify, so it's quite notable. But this album is solid, despite it being the Kisco album, which, quite frankly, it's only just I Was Made for Loving You and Dirty Livin'. There's some other fantastic songs on here, such as Sure Knows Something, Charisma, Magic Touch, Save Your Love. Their cover of Rolling Stone's 2000 Man is on here. It's phenomenal stuff. And this is a Kiss Online exclusive pressing. I think this is limited to 2,000 or 2,500 copies. As you can see, there's like a nice sort of silver foil type finish to the cover. Very shiny. Almost makes the sort of gray boulders look metallic. And the text almost looks a little three-dimensional, which is absolutely awesome. And inside, of course, we do have the original poster, which I am sorry if this is not going to look good on camera, because I don't think it's going to because of the glare from my ring light. But they printed the poster on this sort of kind of like mylar-ish kind of material. Almost looks like double platinum, but you basically get the general gist. It's better to look at with your own eyes instead of the camera lens. Does have the original printed inner bag, which I always loved this design of the printed inner bag. I always liked that logo. And then as for the vinyl itself, it is pressed on red vinyl with black smoke, which is very cool. I suppose this supersedes the 40th anniversary press that came on green vinyl from several years back. So so we have a new edition of that. But like all Kiss Online exclusive presses, this was not available on its own. You had to get other stuff. And I know where Kiss fans will complain about this practice, but the thing is, they constantly sell out, and that means that they'll keep doing it. Honestly, I would much prefer to get just the LPs, but in order to get this, I also got the t-shirt. This was marketed as being like the Return of Kiss t-shirt, which, to be quite honest with you, I do love me an old school looking t-shirt. So this honestly does look very, very cool. Kind of plays into that whole sort of super Kiss kind of look here. Very 70s-ish. And honestly, and the material is great. It's very high quality stuff. But I had to get the shirt in order to get the vinyl. But you know what? It's a small victory to pay, because honestly, I'm going to enjoy every single second of this record as I celebrate its 45th anniversary. So there you guys go. That is my vinyl haul of most of the records that I acquired within the month of July this year in 2024. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.